This video is for the review um, for Unit 2. The first thing we're going to do is look at the problems where we identify holes in vertical and horizontal asymptotes. So on number 1, the first thing we need to do is we need to factor out the common number in the bottom in the denominator. So I can take out a -3 from each of those terms. Once I take out a -3 from those terms, then I am able to see that I'm probably going to have to factor the bottom because I have a trinomial. So I need to try to factor 2 sets of parentheses. I need to look to see what factors of -12 add up to give me -1. So that will give me -4 and +3. Now remember that with holes, it is anything in which we can cross off a term top or bottom. And I have x plus 3 in both the top and the bottom, and they match. So I'm going to set that equal to 0 and solve, and that's going to give me a whole of x equals -3. Once I've done that, I'm going to look for my vertical asymptotes, and that vertical asymptote will be everything else that's left on the bottom that I can set equal to 0. I have x minus 4 equals 0. So my asymptote, when I solve, is going to be x equals 4. For my horizontal asymptote, remember your horizontal asymptote is governed by your rules. So I look at the degree of the numerator is 1, the degree of the denominator is 2. When the numerator is less than the denominator, then you have a horizontal asymptote of y equals 0. Question number 2, you'll notice that the first thing we need to do is take out an x that everything in the top has in common. So I'm going to do that first, and I'm going to look at the bottom. All of those have an x, and all of those are divisible by 4. And because of this negative, I'm going to take out that -4. So I have x minus 4. All right, I have a trinomial on the top, so I need to factor that. So I need factors of 8, that when I add them together, I get -6. So I have x minus 4 and x minus 2. So to do the whole, I'm going to find the thing that they have that cancels out. And in this case, it's x minus 4. So that's going to give me a whole and x equals 4. But also notice that both of them have x's on the top and the bottom. So I'm also going to set x equal to 0. I have nothing else to solve on the bottom. So it would be 1. No additional ones. And the horizontal asymptote is going to be determined by my rules. In this case, I have the top divided by the bottom, because this is the degree of 3 and the degree of 2. When the numerator is greater than the denominator, have to ask the question, are they one apart? If they are, then I have a slant asymptote and I'll need to divide. So what I have left is going to be what I have left when I divide. And in this case, I have this left and I have already divided, so that's what's going to be left when I complete my division. When I look at the third problem again has an x on the top, which needs to be taken out. On the bottom, we have a negative 3 that needs to come out. Because I have trinomials both on the top and on the bottom, I know I need to factor both of those. So this is going to be x times factors of negative 6 that add to give me a positive 1, which is going to be a positive 3 and a negative 2. Then on the bottom, I need factors of negative 3 that add to give me positive 2. So that's going to be a positive 3 and a negative 1. So I have a whole where x is equal to 3. X plus 3 equals 0, excuse me. So that would be x equals negative 3. My vertical asymptote is going to be what I have left here, and that is x minus 1 equals 0. So my vertical is going to be x equals 1. Now my horizontal, because I have x's both on the top and the bottom, you're going to have to go back and multiply this out and then divide. So when I do this, the easiest thing to do is to go to the factored version. So when I do this, I'm going to do x times x minus 2, and I'm going to multiply this back out. Okay, so this is going to be x squared minus 2x over negative 3x plus 3. Once I do that one, I need to divide. So if you're doing long division, you could do x squared minus 2x. I'm going to go ahead and put my plus 0 on there because I don't need to leave out a term. I'm going to divide by 3x plus 3. What do I multiply negative 3 by to end up with a positive 1? The only way I do that is multiplying by negative 1/3. So negative 1/3 times negative 3 is a positive 1, and it has to have an x on it because x times x gives me x squared. Negative 1/3 times the 3 is a negative 1x. Now remember here we're subtracting. So negative 1 minus negative 1, which is, I think it's plus 1, so I have a negative x, and I bring down my plus 0. So what do I have to have in order to get a negative x? I have a positive 3, so I need a positive 1/3. So 1/3 times negative 3 is negative x. 1/3 times a positive 3 is going to give me a plus 1. And remember, we're subtracting, so I'm going to end up with negative 1. So my answer here is going to be y is equal to negative 1/3 x plus 1/3
called complete term plus a remainder of negative 1 over negative 3x plus 3. Now, some of you like synthetic division. If you like synthetic division and you want to do this by synthetic division, one of the things you have to remember is there can be nothing in front of the x. So if you're going to do this with synthetic division, you're going to have to divide all of your terms by negative 3. So this is going to reduce to x minus 1. But when you do that, you have to divide everything underneath also by 3. Okay, so that's going to give you a division of 1/3 x squared minus 2/3 x plus your 0. Now, if you're doing that with synthetic, your box is going to be a 1. Remember, you've divided all of these by negative 3, sorry. So that's negative 1/3. I divided this by negative 3. So that's 2/3. So you're going to get confused. And then this is going to be my 0. Okay? So remember, your number comes straight down. So you get your negative 1/3 here. Negative 1/3 times your 1 is negative 1/3. There's my 1/3. My 1/3 times 1 is going to give me 1/3. So you're going to have a remainder of 1/3, which you'll notice is the same thing as this. Okay, so you get the same answer. This is negative 1/3 x plus 1/3. And then you have a remainder. Your remainder looks a little bit different just because you took out the 3. Okay, in this part, you took out the 3. So you end up with the same answer. Either one is acceptable.